today. There are no letters tall enough for what I've got to say. Oh, the margins are not mine. I run outside the lines, I run outside the lines, I run outside. There is no paper big enough for what I'm going to draw today. Oh, grass stains on your knees, that's good, that's good. And dirt under your nails, that's good, that's good. And paint on all my jeans, alright, alright. Fall under some trees, you're alright, alright, alright. I used to want a trademark toy, now I only want more space. I want a room with empty walls, I want more bricks and paper plates. Oh, look how tall I wrote my name, how tall I wrote my name, how tall I wrote my name, how tall I wrote my name. I want a word that says it all. I want more bricks and paper, please. Oh, let's write ourselves a story, 'cause the writers make the rules. We'll need a starship and a cutlass and a key. And I'll make a treasure map on codes and signs, 20 faces, dotted lines. And when all our paints are shaken up, we'll make a new color and name it after us. Oh, there is no paper big enough for what I'm going to draw today. And there is no shouting loud enough to tell you what I've got to say. There is no paper big enough for me, no paper big enough for me. There is no paper big enough for me, no paper big enough for me. There's no paper big enough for me, no paper big enough for me.
Almost time, midnight dancer. Almost time, midnight dancer. Midnight dancer, flash of fire in the dark. She comes and goes where nobody but she knows and waits for the night. Far, far, cross miles of snowfield under a nightshade she hides. Are you there, midnight dancer? Are you there, midnight dancer? Are you there, midnight dancer? Dance into the moonlight and show your face. Daytime sleeper, dancers out of her mind. Dreaming in style, she beguiles, sending smiles from the world. Who is that girl? For so long I've sat by this ocean love poem in life. Again tonight, show me your spin and your fancy. Show me your satin and lace. Now it's time, midnight dancer. Now it's time, midnight dancer. Now it's time, midnight dancer. Step into the moonlight and show your face. Now it's time, midnight dancer. Now it's time, midnight dancer. Yes, it's time, midnight dancer. If you dare, midnight dancer, dance out from the shadows and show your face. Now it's time, midnight dancer. Step into the moonlight and show your face. Are you there, midnight dancer? Step into the moonlight and show your face. If you dare, midnight dancer. Step into the moonlight and show your face.
Oh, my name is Gary Bartley. I was born in the mountains. Worked all of my adult life in these hills. And my family has been farming here for 7 generations. Now my brother Wayne's the only one who's farming still. The oldest tombstones in the graveyard stand over my forebears. There are roads and hills and creeks around to bear my family name. But like exiles in our own land, we live haunted by the old ways, like the Indians who were driven out when first my people came. And these mountains know more than they tell, more than you or I ever will. And there's magic hiding underneath the country windowsill, and there's voices in the hills. Now the old ways had their hardships, the winters were so lonely, but we knew where they belonged, in a world we could understand. But as the cities closed in on us, our one choice was so simple. You go broke from paying taxes, or you get rich from selling land. Now our children will all grow up like children from the cities. Though they're living in the country, they're not living off the land. And their pleasures come in packages of styrofoam and fiberglass, using as a mantelpiece the tools once made by hand. And these mountains know more than they tell, more than you or I ever will. And there's magic hiding underneath the country windowsill, and there's voices in the hills. Now the children from the cities come looking for the good life in a picture card New England of a long forgotten day. And me, I know the dream they're looking for. Believe me, no one's loved it more than he who held it in his hand and watched it fade away. And these mountains know more than they tell, more than you or I ever will. And there's magic hiding underneath the country windowsill, and there's voices in the hills, and there's voices in the hills, and there's voices, oh, voices in the hills.
on doing this for a long time, and the kids will be with us until they're out of high school and probably going to college or whatever, and this will be their summertime job, and it'll still be a family operation then.
15,000 pounds loose on deck, tapping into something else, it's just a domino effect. It just starts wiping out the buoy deck.
I think it's a wonderful thing. These people of Alaska are doing up here at Juneau. I think it's a wonderful thing.
This is the list of names of the men who were lost on the USS Juneau, the Navy ship that was named for Alaska's capital city. Hello, I'm Scott Foster. Welcome to Rain Country. And this week, we're on the sea. We begin at this memorial for the USS Juneau, the ship that was lost in the Guadalcanal on November 13th, 1942, with a loss of more than 550 crew members, including the 5 Sullivan brothers. 150 actually survived the initial torpedo attack and made it to the lifeboats. But of that number, only 10 survived shark attacks, exposure, and injuries when they were rescued 7 days later. Today, this memorial honors the USS Juneau and the men who were lost.
My hometown never treated me like this. Nothing like this. They did write an article about 10 survivors of the Juneau.
I feel like I have a place up here. Our shipmates and everyone else, Juneau have a place up here.
I'm no hero. I'm just, you know, somebody that was lucky. I got back.
What I anticipated more than anything else is meeting the 4 other survivors that I had not seen in these 45 years.
It's one of the greatest things that ever happened in the 45 years.
The 5 gentlemen who were invited to Juneau are the only living survivors of the original 10, who were rescued after the Juneau sank on 13 November 1942. The USS Juneau was commissioned on Valentine's Day of 1942, just months after Pearl Harbor. She spent 2 or 3 months in the Atlantic on training exercises, but in a way they were actually had a purpose. They were patrolling at the same time. After the ship passed through the Panama Canal, it participated with various other naval ships in the Battle of Santa Cruz, and it also participated in a raid in enemy territory. What they call is a raid on Bouy. And then the third and last battle was the Battle of Guadalcanal. It did not sink in the battle. It sank on its way with the other ships towards their home base.
Well, each one of us was at a different spot, and you know, every actually I was asking, how did you make it, and how did you make it? I knew how I made it, but they didn't know how I made it, and I didn't know how they made it. So that was a nice experience to find out just how they did it.
In my group, we had were standing outside my gun turret. I was in gun turret number 5, and there was about 4 or 5 of us talking about how fortunate we were to come through the battle without too much damage, outside of 17 men who were killed up in the forward engine room. And there was 3 fellows there that I recall saying that they knew that they were going to die. And I kept telling them, no way, we're going to go back to Pearl Harbor for repairs. We're going to get liberty. And they had the premonition that something was going to happen to them. And the rest of us just laughed. And then we heard the alert 1, and I jumped into my turret. But they were right. The 3 that I'm talking about did not survive. They never even made it to the raft.
I thought I was a goner because I didn't have a full lung of air, my lungs were not full of air. They were restricted because there was so much smoke immediately after the explosion, and with the downward rush of water, the ship was sinking, and I was tied up in the lines of the ship. Pressure was increasing on your ears every foot you went down, and finally you just give up and say, I'm a goner. And then all of a sudden the pressure starts lightening and you realize you're ascending. So I'd worked loose or something had broken loose. I was clear of the entanglements, and I started rising in the water. And of course then I tried swimming feebly again to get up, and I made it to the top.
That first night, we all tried to get together to try to help each other as much as we could. We had a lot of these big mats, or like a doormat, you know, rubber, and the fellows that were hurt bad, I mean much worse than I was, very severe wounds, we were helping them to get on these mats to keep afloat. And that night went by, and we felt we'd be picked up, but the next day nothing happened. But then after that, we started to see airplanes. Most of them were B-17s, flying fortresses, Army planes. And they dropped some rubber rafts. Most of them were too far away and we couldn't get to them. And then finally, one of them, he made a good hit. It was real close. And I and another younger fellow, I don't know his name, and because you just didn't know everybody aboard a ship that big, we swam out and we got the rubber raft.
At first, we had high hopes because there were ships in the vicinity. There was 5 of our own ships within a mile of us. And of course, since our numbers were lessening in the Pacific, the first mission of the ships were to get away from the imminent submarine danger, save their own ship, and then come back and look for us when they had time.
They were off left us out there. You know, they looked. The other ships sailed off and left us. Just sailed off and left us. I can't understand why. Because if they'd have looked, we was there. And I don't see how they could have missed us. But we was setting us high out of the water. And of course, we was black with fuel oil all over us, but there's no reason why they couldn't have spotted us. I feel that way. They didn't even send a search ship back. And that I am bitter about. I don't care. I tell the president that if I was asked, so I'm bitter about it. They should have sent a search ship back there for survival, you know, check to see if there's anybody alive. They did not send nobody back there. They took off. The guys kept saying they're sailing off to leave us. You know, I kept telling them, no, they'll come back, they'll come back. You know, they didn't do it. That was what I believed the Navy would have done, but they didn't do it.
I don't know why or what, but he was being attacked, and he kept saying to me, help me. And he reached, and he held on to me, and I held on to him. And it gradually just kept pulling. And I knew what was happening. The shark had him, and it was literally pulling him apart. And gradually, you know, I just couldn't hold on to him anymore. And I pulled him away from the raft, and he was screaming and hollering, and he went under. Then I was alone.
When I think of those guys, it didn't bother me when I saw it happen. I got used to seeing them getting eaten up and torn apart. As I got older, it hit me.
The way of their survival was forgetting about the tragedy that happened on the Juneau and the tragedy that happened on the rafts. It was a tremendous amount of anxiety, tremendous amount of tragic memories that they had locked up inside them for over 45 years. With the reunion, with the help from the people of Juneau and just listening to these men, we heard their stories firsthand. We heard their stories really before their families even heard their stories. Because of this guilt and because of this syndrome of being forgotten and losing their buddies in the Pacific, they never told, a lot of them never told their families the story. And this burden was raised off their shoulders when they came here. There was nothing up to this time to give a marking place to these men and to their ship until now.
They needed a tombstone someplace, not out in the Pacific. The way I feel about it, I mean, I think it's a wonderful thing. These people of Alaska are doing up here in Juneau. I think it's a wonderful thing.
When they were at the dedication, and when they were in the parade, and the people were actually there, and they can see them, they could talk to them. I don't think in the history of all the 4th of Julys in Juneau, people had a chance to actually do that, especially with men who mean so much to our city because they were part of the ship named after our city. They were part of our namesake, part of our history. They truly believe that we adopted them, that Juneau is their home.
There are expected dangers for those using the oceans during wartime, but dangers lurk for those using the oceans anytime. Rocks, reefs, shallows, or just making your way into port are obstacles that boaters have to overcome. To make our waters safer, there are more than 700 aids to navigation throughout southeast Alaska. And although these blinking lights and conspicuous day markers may become common sights, somebody has to go out and make sure they're still working.
Stock is working on the red angle at the moment, sir. And just a sec, I was Mr. Priest. You got yours.
Okay, mark it. Mark it.
We visit every aid to navigation at least at a minimum of once a year. And what we do is we check to see that it's putting out the proper signal, that all the day boards on the shore aids are clear and bright, that all the lights are working properly, and just basically give them a shave and a haircut. So we have basically 5 types of aids that we service. We have about 280 aids assigned to us particularly. Of those, 44 are lighted buoys, about 30 are unlighted buoys, 150 are lights on the beach, and then we have about 60 day beacons, which don't have a light on it but are on the beach in a structure. The buoy evolution is a lot of teamwork involved in it. We have certain stations where people go. We have the forecastle all the way forward, and on the forecastle we have several people handling lines on the capstan, and we have safety observers. We have our corpsman up there with his safety kit in case anybody gets hurt. He's right on scene and can go down and help. And down on the buoy deck we have a buoy deck supervisor. He's in charge of the entire operation on the buoy deck. He's the man with the white hat down there.
To bring it up alongside and so far to where the hook is level. And we take off a couple lines and we what we call mouse the hook. So when we get it set up on the buoy deck, a lip catches and it starts to tip backwards for some reason, the hook won't come out and let it fall off. Start rolling around on deck and really do some damage. 15,000 pounds loose on deck, tapping into something else, it's just a domino effect. It just starts wiping out the buoy deck. We do have a lot of deck low sometimes, but it's mostly in transit. But most of the time we'll have maybe 1 or 2 buoys on board, and 3 or 4 sinkers on board and mess of chain for in case we need it.
Up and down!
And we have the corpsman, our HS1, a corpsman usually is up there calling chain. That's real important for the bridge, the conning officer, to know which way the chain is tending so he can come ahead, come in reverse, use the bow thruster to come left or right, to keep that chain up and down as much as possible. If not, it creates a real heavy strain on our rigging gear.
And then we have the team up on the bridge. They are responsible for positioning the ship properly, making the proper approach, keeping us off the shoals while we're working the buoys, making sure that the chain is in the proper position to fall on the chain stopper. And also we have the team then on the flying bridge who relays information down to the bridge on the buoy positioning. They're taking horizontal sextant angles.
And then we can set it down in the cradle, and it's a wooden platform that is beveled so the hull of the buoy, the big round part of the buoy, can lay in it on its edge. And we put what we call gripe down chain. It's just a type of chain we use with the steamboat jacks to hold the buoy down on the deck. Keep the evolution as safe as possible. We don't want anything to be able to bump into it, anything come loose and have it roll around. From there, the boys come out and they start cleaning off the buoy. They scrape it down, get all the grime and the seaweed off it and all the sea life that's been planted on it. And we paint the buoy. We do an inspection or recharging. That's where we take the old batteries out, put new batteries in, or in the cases of some of the larger buoys, we're going through the solarization of a lot of our larger buoys. And so we either solarize it or put in our primary batteries, or sometimes it's just an inspect where we go through the light itself, make sure it's working in proper order. When we put them back in the water, the same type of evolution, same safety, it just goes back in the same way it come on. I always have fun on the buoy deck. This is one of the best jobs in the Coast Guard, I think.
Well, the Faust Rock buoy was pretty simple because we didn't have to open up the old buoy and do work inside of it and then button it back up again. We had the new buoy all ready to go, so we just had to hook up the moor to the new buoy. That operation took us about an hour and 15 minutes to do. Generally, depending on the size of the buoy and what we have to do, it can take anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours. If there's anybody that has any type of comment that they want to make about the AIDS navigation system, we're always very happy to hear about it.
Good job.
Navigational aids are good friends to those who use our southeast seas, like commercial fishermen. Those who spend their time commercial fishing can spend more time on the fishing grounds if they have tenders to bring in supplies, buy the fish, and transport the fish. The Frigid Land is a tender under contract to Icicle Seafoods in Petersburg, and it works with the Gillnet fleet in Haines. The crew of this tender does a lot to dispel the stereotypes of some fishermen. In fact, the Frigid Land crew might seem more at home behind a white picket fence in the suburbs. The Vicks, a family of 5, and their deckhand nephew live and work together aboard the 75-foot tender Frigidland. Home during the school year is Petersburg, but home during the summer is the Frigidland.
I guess we do this so we can all be together, because most of the winter, Dad's gone. He's either crab fishing or halibut fishing in the spring, and he's usually gone quite a bit. Last year, he put new rails on the boat, and he was in Seattle for a long time. He wasn't home very much, and he almost didn't make it home for Christmas, and the kid, Royce, I think it was, wrote in his letter to Santa that they all did at school, "Dear Santa, what he wanted for Christmas, and P.S. Mom would like Dad home for Christmas." And so this was his way of being with the family for at least 3 months out of the year.
Okay. What I like about it is when the kids get older, you see so many kids hanging around downtown during the summer not doing anything, and this way they'll be with us. We're planning on doing this for a long time, and the kids will be with us until they're out of high school and probably going to college or whatever, and this will be their summertime job, and it'll still be a family operation then. You know, it'll be, the kids will be our crew, and we'll all work together, and they'll make their money for college or whatever, and they won't be hanging around the streets or getting in trouble because they'll be with us all summer, and that's what I like about it.
The kids, they don't mind it at all. They kind of like it. Stuart loves it. He likes to be out in the middle of all the action and everything. There's lots of things for them to do, but they don't always think of them on their own, and you have to tell them again, why don't you go color, or why don't you go do this, or why don't you go row your skiff, or get your fishing pole and put a hook on and fish off the end of the boat, okay?
Well, Mom, I never could fish out of a boat. I always catch it on Stan's boat.
Well, maybe you better put your life jacket on and go over to Stan's boat and you can catch one. Okay? I'll help you rig it up. No, you just want to sit on my back all day?
Yeah.
Does that mean you love me too much?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Each Friday, the Vicks family make a 19-hour commute from Petersburg to Haines with 30 tons of ice. They arrive in Haines very early Saturday morning and begin shoveling ice so the gill netters are able to keep their fish fresh during the 3-day gill net opening, which begins at noon Sunday. Saturday evening, the Vicks traditionally have a barbecue with the fishermen and other tenders who are docked in Haines preparing for the next day's opening.
What do you want?
Mine. Do you have matches? I gotta get the charcoal started.
Right here.
That net is perfectly good shape. They're in the whole bigger. That's the whole thing, yeah. Yeah, it's the same net.
You work on your net every week, patch it up, the backlashes and stuff?
Sunday morning, they ice up the remaining boats, then travel to the fishing grounds in case the fishermen need any assistance. At noon sharp, the fishermen set their nets, and the Vicks usually get to relax while the fishermen fill their holds with salmon. After a leisurely Sunday, the Vicks family is back to work early Monday morning to begin rounds, going from boat to boat, buying the fisherman's catch.
734. Get up on the L a little bit. No more. Okay, that's good. Okay, we got some tapes in there. How'd you do?
So good. Pretty slow.
Thank you.
I should have just stayed down here in Mud Bay and just kept plugging around, and I'd have done a lot better.
The Vicks continued their rounds through the closure on Wednesday. Then, Wednesday night, the commute back to Icicle Seafoods in Petersburg with up to 130,000 pounds of fish for processing. The Vicks spend one day at home preparing for the return trip to Haines for the next week's gill net opening, and so the routine goes until school starts.
When the kids go to school, she goes with them and gets them in school, and then I have to hire another person to do the books or to work on deck here, and I do the books, and I hate doing the books because there's a lot of paperwork, and she's real good at it. So when she goes, I really miss her. We get along great. We're a team.
However, it's not always smooth sailing aboard the Frigid Land.
It doesn't matter who you live with or who you work with, you're going to have pet peeves about lots of stuff that everybody else does, because that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
No matter who you are. A lot of times we just let them run around. We just let them burn it off. We just let them do it because it doesn't matter what we say to them, what we do, they're going to do it anyway. You know, and they just carry on. And as long as they're not crying and they're laughing, it's okay. But they go real crazy sometimes, especially when we're running, because there is absolutely nothing to do except for watch TV, play videos, and get in the way. You know, they try and read, and that doesn't last very long because one of them will bug the other one, and pretty soon it's just a madhouse.
Privacy.
Yeah.
There's hardly any privacy at all on the boat. You don't have any, so.
Doesn't matter where you go or what you do, there is never any privacy. Last year I had a hard time relating to always having somebody around all the time. There wasn't any place to go. Even on wheel watch, one night I threw a big fit and I said, I want everybody out of here, just leave me alone. I want a whole hour to myself. Just leave me completely alone. Nobody could understand that. They couldn't understand why their mother didn't want them around, you know, why somebody actually needed some time alone, you know, other than sleeping.
Most housewives, I don't think, would want to do what she's doing, but she manages to do it with a smile most of the time.
We all have our ups and downs and our good days and our bad days, and I don't know, it just kind of goes with, like Garfield always said, it's not a pretty life, but somebody has to live it.
This week on Rain Country, we've gone down to the sea, from a memorial to those who lost their lives on the ocean, to those working to prevent boating accidents, to those for whom the sea is their place of work. And in keeping with the spirit, the entire Rain Country crew will float on by in another week. I'm Scott Foster. Happy sailing.
There's a high wind blowing down underneath the midnight sky on fire, and I yearn and turn my eyes to all I see. Oh, north wind, how I long for you. And the tides turn, reasons change, friends like oceans draw back home again, and I yearn and turn my eyes to all I see. Oh, north wind, how I long for you.
There's a beat up old truck with the fenders bashed in. I don't know where I'm going, but I know where I've been. I heard a song on the radio, won't you play it again? I don't know where I'm going, but I know where I've been. Mustangs on the mesa top, they're still wild and free. Won't you play that old waltz tune, come dancing with me? Dancing and a prancing and a stepping so high, like a thunderstorm rolling on a land that's gone dry. The heart is so thirsty, love falls down like rain, waters the soul, it eases the pain. And that beat up old truck, it don't run anymore. There's cracks in the windows, there's holes in the floor. And it remembers the good times when you still loved me, when the radio worked and I didn't own a TV. The mandolin, the fiddle, and gold guitar strings pound out a melody that the angels would sing. An angelic host hovers as we dance on the floor. I love you, I can't say it no more. That beat up old truck, the headlights are smashed in, the chrome is all rusty, it's ugly to sin. And it dreams of a day when it was shiny and new, and I was head over heels and in love with you. I heard a song on the radio, won't you play it again? I don't know where I'm going, but I know where I've been. Don't know where I'm going, but I know where I've been. Won't you bring that auto up to me and play just a closer walk with thee? But right now I'm just sitting here missing you. Walk down the hall up 2 flights of stairs, go to your office and there's nobody there. And right now I'm just sitting here missing you. Better to have loved and lost, oh, but I never really bothered counting the cost. The wounds of love, they cut you like a knife. Some wounds, they heal oh so slow, and other wounds don't heal up at all. But right now I'm just sitting there missing you. King Jesus, he yells stop, he says run down, I get Uncle Bob and I mean old Otto Hop. Now everybody's up there dancing in that angel band, but the streets down here are running with tears, and that's because you're no longer here. And right now I'm just sitting here missing you. Spread your ashes out on the sea, I know that's where you wouldn't want to be. But when they did, it took a little part of me. There's roses blooming somewhere, and somewhere someone really cares. And right now I'm just sitting here missing you. Won't you bring that auto up to me and closer walk with me, but right now I'm just sitting here missing you. I said just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus is my plea. Daily walking close to thee. Ah, let it be, dear Lord, let it be. Goodbye, old friend.
Imagine started my life all over. Each day is a new day to me. I'm learning to laugh when I used to cry. He opened the world up to me. And now I'm a child with a different life, the one that he gave to me. I'm heading down a much brighter path. Listen to the angels sing. Hallelujah, rejoice unto the Lord. Hallelujah, he opened up my world. Hallelujah, rejoice unto the Lord. Hallelujah, he's a light unto the world. Where there was sadness, I found that I could sing. Fortune is for those to find happiness within. Whoa, it's a wonder, yes it is, what life can be. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. There's not a minute to spare with a lie in your heart, trying to look to tomorrows. You're only fooling yourself and nobody else, which only leads to sorrow. And when you lead your life with you in command, life's troubles seem more harder. But with God in your life, you're gonna take a stand. You make your life more stronger. Hallelujah, rejoice unto the Lord. Hallelujah, he opened up my world. Hallelujah, rejoice unto the Lord. Hallelujah, he's a light unto the world. Where there was sadness, I found that I could sing. Fortune is for those to find happiness within. Whoa, it's a wonder, yes it is, what life can be. Yeah, yeah, rejoice unto the Lord. Yeah, yeah.
I came up here over 40 years ago. Back then, when I crossed Alaska's border, it was like coming home for the first time. This is a very special place. Here, you can still live life on your own terms, build the kind of future you want. That's what this program is all about. It's a celebration, really. The celebration of the lives led by some of the people who make this state a place I'm proud to call my home.
J. Hammond's Alaska, a special home video presentation.
That river, the Cavanaugh River, where paddles deliver all the power they can. Why it's such fun, making the scenic run, cruising your ship around, cruising from Fairbankstown, seeing Alaska today.
This is no doubt one of the best-known tourist attractions found in Alaska. The stern wheel riverboat Discovery. Patterned after its forebears, which plied territorial waters a generation ago, she's a remarkable craft. On her decks, thousands from outside and elsewhere here in Alaska receive an absorbing and entertaining lesson in history.
It's fed by over 100 glaciers.
But it's not so much that floating classroom with which I'd like to acquaint you, but rather the faculty. Captain Jim Binkleys' silver-thatched smile has lit the airways of late in behalf of a certain communications company. Certainly, Jim alone would be a prime subject to profile. But add to the captain and craft his remarkable family crew, you've got an outstanding Alaskan success story.
My father came up from Indiana, where he was trained as a riverboat pilot as a boy, heard about the Alaska gold rush and headed north. Walked over the White Pass, carried his gear to the top, built a little boat at Lake Bennett, got started, and that was in 1898. And we've been at it ever since, consecutively for 89 years.
40 years ago, Jim Binkley and his wife Mary were fellow University of Alaska students in Fairbanks. Someone heard Jim had a riverboat pilot's license and suggested they start a little excursion business on the Chooneik'i River. It sounded promising.
We started in 1950 with a small 25-passenger gasoline-powered launch that belonged to the Episcopal bishop. And we could see, as it began to develop, that there was a potential for a greater business. So we built the little Discovery number 1 right from scratch, right from the bottom up. We built it right in our backyard.
Discovery 1 held but a few dozen passengers. And after a few years, demand exceeded capacity. So Jim got out the welding torch to fashion Discovery 2. Word continued to spread about this one-of-a-kind visitor's experience. And in the early 1980s, the Binkleys took a giant step.
We made this decision in 1984 to build Discovery number 3. And we've completed that boat in 9 months in a shipyard down in Puget Sound. We took it on a barge all the way up the Alaskan coast to the Bering Sea, off the barge, and the oldest and youngest sons brought it up here in 6 days to Fairbanks. Carries 1,000 passengers, take 800 undercover on a rainy day. It's quiet, it's comfortable. It has everything that a passenger wants, unlimited visibility. The speaker system is good. We have a video system on board now that supplements the things that we say with video cassettes that we can play, and it's just a terrific vessel.
She's a real beauty, all right. But perhaps even more beautiful is the sight of the entire Binkley family pulling together to keep the Discovery fleet afloat.
Mary and I have a daughter and 3 sons, and our daughter does the marketing and sales for us. Mary does most of the scheduling. The boys are all licensed captains and licensed pilots, and they run the boat. The oldest son takes care of the mechanical functions. Son Jim takes care of all of the cosmetics and the crew. John does all the public relations and some of the advertising and helps steer the boat occasionally. And I just do a lot of, well, I'm kind of the glue that holds it all together. Later on today, here's a beautiful log house on the right-hand side. You can see the... And our daughters-in-law, 3 of our daughters-in-law work in the business too, as much time as they can spend away from their children to work with us. So it's a pretty satisfying thing to have a gang that works so well together. And it's an interesting thing too in our family enterprise that the ownership of the enterprise is not equal, of course, but when we make a decision as a family, we make it on equal voting. It's a very democratic process. Unless everybody agrees, we don't do it. But when everybody agrees, we really do it.
All the Binkleys agreed on the building of Discovery 3, and I think you'll all agree she's an impressive sight. Daughter Marilee even pressed her into service as her wedding chapel.
2 years ago when my parents told me about Discovery 3 and it was in the planning, I told them, I said, I'm going to get married on that new boat. And not too long after that, I met my husband, and so last summer he asked me to marry him. I said, we have to wait for Discovery 3 to arrive. It's my dream, and it really was. It was a beautiful wedding.
As parents and employers, you have to overlook a lot in their teen years and be patient with them. But as they get into their 20s, they settle down and really are much more responsible individuals by that time.
What we did get a lot of that maybe shaped everybody's character a bit was the opportunity to make our own decisions, make our own mistakes, but be responsible for whatever we did. We were given responsibilities young, and it seems like it's helped a lot in developing self-confidence and learning to work together with the other members of the family, making decisions.
As soon as they reached the age where their attention span was reasonably long, I started them in the wheelhouse, and they would stand on a box and look out the window, and I patiently explained to them some of the things that they had to know to be a riverboat pilot.
There you go, that's good, right about there. Hold on right there. See how we're swinging?
Young Ryan, my 8-year-old grandson, was doing what his dad did when he was that age, actually standing on a gasoline case box in the wheelhouse to see out the window so he could understand exactly what's going on. So that's the beginning of another generation coming on, and I look forward to all of our grandkids being involved in this.
And you do that because there's more current, you can go faster.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it kind of plays out against the sweepers that come.
He showed me like how to turn away from the big logs in the water and how to get really close to the bank. People call it working the willers. And he told me why you're supposed to do that. It gets a little speed up.
Besides, you watch out your wheelhouse door.
Which part of the operation do you like best?
Well, I want to be a deckhand.
You want to be a deckhand? I see. You don't want to be a skipper? How come?
I just like working the snack bar.
Oh, you like the deckhand and the snack bar, I see.
Ryan was putting up chains and helping the deckhands out on the boat today, so it's a natural thing. You kind of fall into the thing that you like, and that's the thing that you do and enjoy, and that's your area of responsibility. I think it's terrific the way it works.
It looks like there's room for you to absorb the future generations as well into the operation if you so choose.
I don't think there's any question about that. If they want to do it, that's the important part, if they want to do it. We all kind of feel that the greatest priority around here is enjoying life. That's the greatest priority of all, and each other.
Glacier's melt. Do you see just the clouds of it over here on the left? Just coming into view over here. Big clouds of it.
You have to like people. And it is a people type of work, and if you enjoy the people, every trip is different. And so we don't memorize and say exactly the same thing. We try to keep our commentary fresh by talking about what that particular group of people are interested in.
I say this to myself every morning. These people who are going to be on our boat today are on vacation in Alaska. And they paid a lot of money to come up here and enjoy the things that we have to offer. And they are seeing what we have to present for the first time. So I'm going to see it the same way. I'm going to see it through their eyes. And by doing that, I'm getting the feeling and the energy and the feedback from them. And this first experience that they're having. And as a result, it's as if I were doing it for the first time. And I'm sure Mary feels the same way.
It's a fun job. It's really gives you a good feeling at the end of the day to know that people have enjoyed and appreciated the area and what you've been telling them.
I think it's something that we all feel a part of, and we feel proud of it. You know, that it's something that we are sharing our culture and our heritage with visitors.
Where I come from, we call this a daluya. What you do is you start out with a round frame.
Share with the people who come on our boat an experience that we've had through the years with this marvelous Athabascan Indian culture. And we are saddened to see it disappearing as it is. And there are some people who are making an effort to keep it alive, and that's part of the thing we're doing here.
With all the forelegging here, they would make nice warm mucklucks for the man.
You know, the monetary reward is necessary to keep the operation going, but it's the reaction of the people and their response to what we're doing and their appreciation for how we're doing it that has to be a great part of the reward in doing this sort of thing.
It's nice to see a family arrangement. That's what I am. My boys and everybody are in my business too.
What makes this work as a family venture? I think it's communication, and we communicate freely on what we're doing. Everybody appreciates what the other person is doing.
They can run the family business, obviously a successful family business, and they can still get together for Christmas and Thanksgiving and birthday dinners and still have a lot to talk about, enjoy each other, and I think it's because of the parents. You know, they've got a unique quality that allows that to happen.
When Skip and I had been married for 6 months or so, a close girlfriend of mine asked me sort of surreptitiously, just said, Karen, tell me, now that you're a part of that family, are they really as nice as they seem? Like she was going to get some inside scoop. And, you know, I was astounded at that point and still continue to be. They are continually nice, always supportive, always communicative, and they are as nice as they seem to be, and even nicer.
A strong sense of family was real important to both of them, and that was something that was instilled in us, and I think that was real important and something that I hope I'm able to pass on to my children, that sense of belonging to a family.
Jackie, Daddy! Whoa!
I was just thinking as everybody was talking here that the basic elements that people have to have, we talk about, we have to have food and clothing and shelter. One other element that's so important, love. And I think we find a lot of that in this family.
You ready, Pumpkin? Ready to go?
It's obvious that Captain Jim Binkley, his first mate, and his 3 generational crew have a firm anchor cast to the windward. That anchor is love. Love for what they're doing, love for those they're doing it with, and love for the place they're doing it in.
Direction in my life and my family's life has been very satisfying, very pleased with it. I don't think I'd have done anything different. Here, the opportunity is everywhere. And of course, the thing is that people want to see you succeed in this state. They want to help you succeed. And that's the beautiful part of living here. People working together, doing things together. This state has everything going for it.
Alaska's flag.
almost gone. 100 miles of darkness, but we keep on pushing on. Looking for a shadow of a dream so hard to find. Winter's caught us early, man, this snow will drive you blind. It's a long